Hello and welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me in another of my monologues. And I'd just like to say a big thank you to everybody who is supporting the channel. It's very much appreciated. As you know, I have been demonetized now for nearly, I suppose, 9 or 10 months from YouTube, so I don't make any money at all from this. And I hope that if these videos do have some benefit to you, to keep you optimistic about the future, it's very kind of you if you are able to support the channel. Thank you very much. And also, just want to let you know at the moment I seem to be plagued by bad internet. The internet provider that I've had told me when I was inquiring yesterday about why the internet was slow. They said, well, you're out of contract for 6 years. If you want to have a faster internet, you need to buy a new modem. And I said, well, it's not my modem. Oh, it is. It's your modem slowing down. I said, well, I've swapped it with another modem. Yeah, well, it's still your modem. Yeah, right, okay. Well, I don't want to be signed up to any contract, thank you very much. Now, today I want to tell you an interesting story about council tax and also about what's going on with this civil unrest in the country. Not that I'm really aware of everything because I don't have a television and I try to avoid the mainstream narrative as much as I can. But you know what it's like, you still get told lots of different things. And by the way, if you're emailing me and you don't hear back from me, it's very difficult at the moment for me to get my emails because of this strange intermittent internet problem. If this video actually is uploaded, then that's a miracle in and of itself. But I do hope to have that sorted because I'm leaving my provider and I'm going to try and get one of these mobile modems that you can get now so that I can be either at home or on the land and start producing content again on a more regular basis. So sorry about that. Right, so I want to read you this story. Now, I'm not going to mention any names in this, but it's a fascinating story and hopefully it might resonate with you. And it's about council tax. Of course, people are still trying to work out different ways of dealing with this fraudulent tax system. So he says, this is Dear Richard, he says, you might be interested to know that I am no longer paying my council tax. Well, good for you, my friend. I am just coming up to 4 monthly instalments overdue. Rather interestingly, it would appear that they don't know what to do with me. I think they suspect that I'm going to be trouble just as they seem to be passing me around. Initially, it seemed that I was passed up the ladder, then continually passed down the ladder after I began demanding some awkward questions. I'm expecting my next letter to come from the cleaner. LOL, he says. And this is it, you know, a lot of people are asking the conditional acceptance, you know, well, where is my tax going? How much is it staying in here? Is it going to the consolidated fund, etc., etc. Anyway, he says, I'm in Nuneaton and only £180 of my council tax demand goes to my local borough. The rest, well over a grand, goes to Warwickshire County Council. And though my local borough is not registered at Companies House, Warwickshire County Council is. I asked the council to confirm whether or not 23% of my council tax is going to their private pensions. And I also asked for an itemised invoice from wherever it was I just said, Warwickshire County Council, to which they have not responded. I said I wanted a fully itemised invoice because I wanted to know what was being done with my money. And I did not want to be funding illegal immigrants, their housing, their food, their mobile phones, and their pocket money, etc. Quite right too, why would you? He says, then, as you might have seen in the news, well, I hadn't actually seen in the news, we had 2 illegal immigrants kidnap and rape one of our Nuneaton girls. It seems that these 2 were living in HMO Nuneaton, rent-free, paid for us by us via our council tax. I actually went to the protest, he says. As sick and as horrifying as this rape is, it's played directly into my hands and given me so much ammunition that I'm not sure the council will want to push things any further. In my latest response to them, I said I would not be party to funding the rape of our children and placed this rape squarely on their shoulders. Interesting times, eh? So I think that is fascinating and quite right. We certainly don't want to be paying for the rape of our children, and we certainly don't want to be funding fraudulent taxes. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this the bit of the civil unrest. We went to the Weekend Truth Festival recently, and on the way up on the M6, along with billions of other people stuck in the road traffic, which was this half, I think, organised by the by the government to slow the traffic down and make traffic as miserable as possible for people, so that they will abandon their cars. We noticed that there were Union Jacks, or Union flags, I ought to say, and an English flag. And I was told that this is going on up and down the country, that I guess patriotic people are trying to support and say, hey, this is our country, we're fighting for it back. Now, I don't know the full state of affairs on this, so I've got to be very cautious when I say. It's just that it seems to me, and I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to defend their traditions and their customs of their country and keep that going. It's something that I've been making videos about in the long distance past, of course. But I think that there is a movement, a controlled movement by powers, dark forces, that we are generally not aware of, and most of the people out there who are doing this, is to generate a civil war. So in other words, there's a third party that doesn't like either side of the people coming into this country from other countries and the people who are indigenous, if you like, or who live here, and they would like to have all of those eradicated. So it seems to me that they've set it up, the tensions, and winding it up through the mainstream media and all the, probably on social media and everything, to get these two factions of people to fight each other so they don't have to fight them, so that they can get rid of us. And I think that's going to be a bit of a worry, because if we are marching to war, we keep seeing that supposedly this country is ruined, it's all going down the hill and all of those things. And I think all of this has been manipulated so that we end up with this civil war. The civil war, it won't be civil, of course, at all, is really just there to be manipulated so that we can have the a fast pace or a fast track into the facial recognition, the CBDCs and the 15-minute cities. To deal with this problem, it will be sold as a benefit for us. And of course, you can see that's exactly where it's going. Now, I hope it doesn't, and I hope that people realise that people are being played into this racial upsetting and civil war situation, and I hope that we can avoid all of that. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. A big thanks to those who are supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And let's hope this video gets up and others get up as I manage to find a new internet provider. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.